The Vatican has just released a document stating that the Church needs to be vigilant to avoid being deceived by supposed apparitions of spiritual entities and other types of supernatural phenomena that are expected to occur from now on. This is because, from now on, people may start seeing divine or satanic beings, which could unfortunately influence the faith of many people. Coincidentally or not, a few days ago the newspapers reported the spread of a syndrome worldwide that makes people see demonic forms in others' faces. The question that arises is whether this has anything to do with the recent news from the Vatican. In today's video, I'll answer these questions in light of God's Word to help you understand why the world is so different and if all this relates to the prophecies of the end times and the return of Jesus. But before we start, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel. It's very quick. Just click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell by selecting the All option. I want to help you understand the Bible in a simple and easy way, so come walk with me, all right? Now let's go. The famous news site Fox News published an article titled, "Vatican Prepares Guidelines for Apparitions and Other Natural Phenomena." This has caused a stir everywhere, leaving many people scared. Remember that the Catholic Church understands apparitions as some type of vision or communication with divine beings, such as saints, angels, or Jesus Christ himself. In this document, presented at a live-streamed press conference, the Vatican made several recommendations for determining the origin of certain apparitions or supernatural phenomena, and urged its leaders to ensure that these vision reports do not distort people's beliefs. The last time the Vatican issued similar guidelines on apparitions was in 1978, when Pope Paul VI was the leader. The justification for these new rules is the growing influence of mass media. But is that all there is to it? Apparently not. At least that's what a group of religious scholars studying the behavior of major world religions in response to human events claims. According to these theorists, the Vatican has information that supposedly supernatural things will happen soon, like the appearance of beings claiming to come from the spiritual world or other planets, prompting the Vatican to change its rules on what constitutes an apparition. But why now? Could these images start appearing to people in our generation? If we analyze it, 2024 has not been a typical year, with many strange events happening around the world. First, there was the solar eclipse in the United States that passed through the 7 cities called Nineveh. We have also seen NASA record the largest solar storms in human history. Meteorite falls have increased absurdly, and climate changes are only getting worse. Not to mention the conflicts between Russians and Ukrainians and terrorist attacks on Israel, which continue to generate tension worldwide. Additionally, this year we'll see the US elections, which are expected to re-elect Donald Trump as president of the world's most powerful nation. According to these scholars, we are living in a time of great tension, and the appearance of celestial beings from other planets, or other entities providing some kind of answer or comfort could easily gain people's trust, faith, and loyalty, as they are very fragile and vulnerable. According to these people, the Vatican knows these apparitions can be produced by technologies known as Project Blue Beam, which supposedly has the capability to create sky signs, such as holograms and virtual reality, to impress and deceive entire populations. Have you heard about this project? Think about the large number of people who report seeing lights, flying objects, spiritual beings, and other strange things in the sky lately. We Christians know that we are surrounded by God's angels and also fallen angels, so these apparitions could very well be demons, that is, fallen angels who rebelled against God. However, many people believe these apparitions, these signs in the sky, are created by this technology. Strange as it may seem, some say this technology already exists and is not just a conspiracy theory. To inform you, Project Blue Beam was presented in 1994 by a Canadian journalist named Serge Monist. He even published a book on the subject. He and his colleague conducted research suggesting that the plan to implement this technology capable of creating sky images originated in 1983, but it didn't happen, and was rescheduled for 1995 or 1996. The only thing these journalists were certain of was that by the year 2000, this technology would be operational. Coincidentally or not, both Serge Monist and his colleague died in 1996, 2 years after they revealed information about Project Blue Beam. Both died of heart problems, raising the hypothesis that they were intentionally eliminated for their discovery. But what were the creators of this project trying to hide so much that they took the lives of these 2 people? Those who believe in this theory claim that the people behind Project Blue Beam aim to implement a new world order with the Antichrist at its head, using advanced projection technologies to simulate even the second coming of Christ or the arrival of extraterrestrials. The idea is that through these false cosmic events, world powers would consolidate control over humanity under a single government and religion. This project is divided into 4 stages. The first goal is to discredit all religions, making people believe their beliefs are false. They would create artificial earthquakes, revealing archaeological evidence that religious beliefs are mistaken. In the second phase, holograms would be projected in the sky, showing relevant religious images to different populations. A supposed voice of God would speak in all languages, and this manifestation would be the work of the Antichrist. He would argue that traditional religions are the cause of world conflicts, and then promote the formation of a new world order and a unified religion. Those who resist this new order would be persecuted and killed, fully aligning with the prophecies of Revelation. The focus of the third phase would be controlling the human mind. The organization's satellites could create magnetic fields to control people's thoughts and actions, making them submissive to the new system. Finally, a false extraterrestrial invasion would be simulated, leading world armies to use their nuclear arsenals against this threat, disarming them in the process. The objective would be to reinforce the need for the new world order, making people believe that only the supreme leader, the Antichrist, could save them from this invasion. But could the Vatican really know that there is a group intending to use technology to produce images and try to make people believe they are witnessing a false return of Jesus or a false alien invasion? Sincerely, it seems likely. This new document released this month could be clear evidence of that, because I don't know if you know, but the Vatican has one of the largest intelligence systems in the world. You've probably heard of the CIA, the FBI, and the old KGB, which are major world intelligence centers. But did you know that the Society of Jesus, a religious order founded in 1534, has hundreds of scientists and other highly skilled agents? The Society of Jesus was created to combat the Protestant movement and had the motto, "For the greater glory of God," preaching its doctrine to people in various parts of the world. They still maintain this missionary work, but the Vatican's Intelligence Center operates within this organization. Its founder was a man named Inigo Lopez de Loyola, later known as Ignatius of Loyola. According to scholars, he was part of a group known as the Illuminati, which had training focused on intelligence. Did he then have any connection with the Illuminati? We cannot say for sure, but all this is very strange, isn't it? So leave your opinion in the comments. Regarding the use of technology to create supposedly spiritual images, both angelic and demonic, I believe it is something possible, especially today. There is a prophecy about the end times in the book of Daniel chapter 4, which says that knowledge would increase greatly on earth shortly before the arrival of the Antichrist, and the Blue Beam project could indeed be linked to this vision of the end times. Before we finish, I want to talk about a rare condition that is increasingly emerging in people worldwide, making the affected person see others' faces in such a distorted and unreal way that it feels like they are in front of a demonic figure. The most intriguing thing is that objects in other parts of the body do not undergo any alteration. Victor Shara, a 59-year-old American, suffers from this condition and says he feels like he is dying inside. He also says that every face he sees looks evil, distorted, and demented, as if it had come out of a horror movie. Other people affected by this problem say they see faces transform into dragons or fish heads, or ears sprouting from the top of people's heads. Some also report seeing arms shortened and attached to faces, people's eyes popping out of their skulls and spinning in front of them, or third eyes in the middle of people's foreheads. Some believe that these people are unknowingly developing a technique to identify reptilians disguised among us, and that major groups and intelligence centers, such as the Vatican and even the Illuminati, for example, are already mapping these people to study them in the future, as they may have been infected by some virus created by the spirit of the Antichrist. But brothers, this is nothing but a grand conspiracy theory. This condition is actually a rare disease known as PMO, where parts of other people's faces appear distorted in shape, texture, position, or color. Brad Duchesne, a professor of psychology and brain sciences at a university in New Hampshire, USA, explains that this is a psychological problem affecting people who have suffered some type of brain trauma or injury. Currently, 81 people worldwide have been registered with this disease, but it is believed that there are at least over 100 people with the same problem worldwide. Unfortunately, this number may increase in the coming years. I personally do not doubt that this could be a disease, but I also do not rule out the possibility that it could be a demonic possession, where the devil occupies the person's mind, and they start seeing evil beings or even the spiritual world. As for this disease being created by the spirit of the Antichrist, we also cannot simply reject this hypothesis, because the Bible itself says in 1 John chapter 4 that this spirit is already roaming the world and certainly acts against God's creation in various ways. To conclude, I believe we should not cling to this Vatican document about apparitions and other types of visions, because it talks about visions of entities that the Catholic Church regards as saints, such as the Mother of Jesus and important biblical characters. The Bible is very clear when it talks about people who have died. No matter how good and close to Christ they were, they have left this world and cannot appear to anyone or perform any kind of miracle. They also cannot intercede for us because, according to the Bible, only Jesus is our mediator and intercessor with the Father. Any vision a person might have of these supposed saints or any other type of entity can only have two origins: our mind, which is capable of creating things far beyond our understanding, and also Satan, who is a fallen angel that has been here since man existed, and is indeed capable of creating any kind of image to confuse people and lead them away from the truth of the gospel. Therefore, I want to give you some advice. Hold on to the only truth we have, that Jesus came into this world, gave his life for us, freed us from the grips of sin and eternal condemnation, and one day, when we least expect it, he will return to end all evil and pain that exists today and establish his eternal kingdom. Amen? If you like this message, share it with your friends and family, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. May God bless you powerfully.